Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Unknown Era podcast. Here with us today is myself, Marty.
This is Troy.
And our good friend,
Dillon. What's up?
What's up, Dill? How are you today?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I gotta get off a terrible sleep cycle. I'm going to bed at like 2 in the morning, waking up at 2 in the afternoon. So I gotta fix that.
Oh God.
But otherwise,
that's your whole day gone.
Well,
live that 12-hour.
It's also because we have nothing to do this whole month, so we're just chilling. I'm just catching up on sleep.
Well, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Dill is on our on the Nostalgia Bros channel.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah, check me out, man. Check me wreck these fools at Smash Brothers.
Boom.
Play my Falcon. Play my Falcon.
So
right,
Dill, literally just before starting this, Dill told us that apparently there was a shooting outside our building.
And these guys had no idea.
Yeah, no clue even.
No idea.
I don't doubt it. Because so let me explain. We, as much as we say we live in a sketch neighborhood, we don't. We live near 3 sketch buildings, and that kind of pollutes the area.
I completely disagree. I think your area is totally sketch.
No, like
totally.
Okay, so here's the way that Toronto works: is there's like a building, and the building will house sketch people, whether it's drug addicts or low income. Unfortunately, brings in, again, still kind of problems with that. Not a shot at like the lower class, but it happens. And then like, in the case for Toronto housing, it's probably one of the worst kind of buildings to be in, just for safety. Like a good friend of ours lived in one as well, and he had 3 murders happen in like
Mikey and Clint's old building.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. They had 3 murders. Someone legitimately took a shit in the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
So
Didn't someone either...
That's a sketch neighborhood.
They don't know if someone got thrown off a balcony or if someone committed suicide, but they
saw
someone...
It was ruled as murder.
As murder?
Because both of his hands, like, fingers were cut off both.
Oh, right. I remember that. That's really fucking scary. No, exactly.
So
that's fucking scary.
So for those that don't understand, like, so basically the surrounding area around like a sketch building will also become kind of like, it'll be like a circle around it, and then if there's any kind of like convenience stores, in our case Sam's is like nearby,
oh god,
is like, then that's also another kind of like place where it circles around, and that's where sketch things happen.
That and up the street are like all those halfway houses.
Well, that's the thing, that area there, but we walked by there earlier this week, and you go north of that and there's super nice houses there.
Yeah. No, it's like little tiny pockets. It's really strange. Yeah. And then westwards is eastwards, I mean, is
it goes down. No, actually not down anymore. It used to be down.
It used to be really down. That was Regent Park area.
Ultra high.
That was shitty.
I still think you guys live in a super sketch area. Just walking here, I was approached by this man asking for change, and he was showing me his severed finger that was literally still bleeding.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
How can you say you don't live in a sketch area?
Oh no,
that's downtown though.
I've seen some fucked up things. I've seen some.
No, this is just specifically in your area of downtown.
No, just walking to here from like, so outside of Eden Center is pretty sketch by itself.
I've never being outside of Eden Center has never happened to me. Walking to your place right at that intersection has happened to me. You guys live in a super sketchy area.
Oh no, that intersection.
I've seen.
And
what I'm saying is, it's not like Brooklyn. Like, we're not like surrounded by terrible
Look,
stuff.
obviously, comparing things to Chicago or the Bronx, obviously it's not going to look that bad. But obviously, when you're put in situations where you fear for what the hell's going to happen to you, that's sketch.
Oh no, like, I'm not saying there's, like, we live near a sketch spot. Like, the thing is, like, coming out here actually isn't too bad. Like, you might run into the one person that's walking along it, but like, that's not like, I don't fear for my life when I walk on Dundas. Like, I'm never really scared.
Let's just agree to disagree. Carly fears for her life every time we walk back from your place after a late
that's because
night.
Carly's a nice young girl, and that's like a general problem.
Living
Outside
in-
of Ryerson, someone literally just got pulled up by a van and thrown in, kidnapped.
Yeah, that did happen a few years ago.
Okay.
Like it can happen anywhere.
That was up by College Park, south of it.
No, it was Gerard and
Yeah, College.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was close to there.
Or no, it was like it was right near Jorgensen building, north of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, as long as you don't, stick your head in business that doesn't concern you, you just be nice and
Ignore the homeless people.
and like act relatively normal to these people, they won't bother you.
I'm really good at looking displeased, which means homeless people don't really approach you that much. Like they'll try, but that's half-hearted,
Yeah.
They're just like, he's not really gonna give it, but I'm gonna try.
Honestly, and don't stop for them.
I'm always
just keep walking.
No, I just keep walking. I'm always surprised by the people that like you're wearing headphones and like they'll still try to come up to you and talk to you.
I just walk by them like I can't.
No, like if I'm standing at a corner waiting for a light and they fucking come up to you and you're like, excuse me, and it's just like, I have headphones. I don't want to talk to anybody, let alone you.
Yeah. No, if I have mine and like I just keep looking forward, even if they try.
Oh no, I keep looking forward.
Yeah, if they try.
I've had someone. I've been like looking forward, and they're right here.
Yeah,
like,
where they
right
tried to
here.
cut into view, but like you're like.
And then they
there.
moved into here, and I just kept looking forward, like infinity.
Yeah.
And like just like glazed over, and they're just like standing here, and then finally I went, no, and I freaked them out.
No, you know what sucks though? Because when you're walking on the street, you can just walk away, right?
Yeah.
But what if you're stuck at the bus stop and you're waiting for the streetcar?
That's when it's happened to me sometimes.
And you're just straight fucked.
Yeah.
I've also been in stores. Like there was the time I was in EB Games in line, and this dude came in and he comes up to me. He's like, "Hey man, do you have any money? I need to feed my kids, and I gotta feed my daughter." And then I just stood there staring straight forward, and I just like looked at the person behind the cash register and like locked eyes with them, and I was just like, help me. And she just like turned and looked and went, "Hey sir," and like, "Get out of here."
No, they know the rules. I used to work at Eaton Center. It was the same for us. Like people would walk by and we just look at them and be like, just keep walking.
You just see the 1,000-mile stare in their eyes. They're somewhere else, but
No, like if they try and walk in, like we just walk up and we just like, you do the head shake, they turn around, they know the score.
Yeah,
like
bad.
Eaton Center's really quick on it. Yorkdale, they don't even get to set foot. Like the security in Yorkdale is extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever been there? Like literally, I watched a guy get like 2 feet in the door, and security was just they came out and escorted him right back out.
Yeah.
In Eaton Center, it's like if you try, because people try and go down into the food court and ask for money because it's the most people. So there's always at least 2 or 3 security down there.
Yeah.
That's good.
So.
Yeah, it sucks.
Also, for those that don't know, again, like it's not a matter of like we hate the homeless and things like this. It's that you got to realize that these are the same. Like I've seen people that go like, we've had a guy that come into my store and he's like, who's getting some stuff and he's like, I don't really have an address right now. He's like, I'm just trying to get things together. And like I've read multiple articles. The people that are homeless.
He's read multiple articles, guys. He's an expert.
No, but like. It includes studies. Most people that are homeless aren't chronically homeless, is the term they used, which is that you're, past 6 months, past a year, you don't have a place to stay. Also, these people aren't in halfway houses or there's downtown. There's a lot of homeless shelters. That's part of the reason why south of me kind of looks sketch. But those were also like the most.
After a certain point, it turns nice.
Oh, after one street, it just turns into like.
It turns into the interior design district.
Yeah.
Like that's the funny thing. It's like just down that way. You go past one street, boom. It's okay. There's nothing. I think it's because there's not a lot of like apartments or anything. I know that like above all the shops are like
there's
apartments
a lot of condos
and stuff.
down there, but the keyword is condos.
Now there's condos. Yeah. Now there's tons of them.
But like, so the thing is like
same with over the bridge.
Yeah.
As soon as you cross the Don Mills Bridge, it's like
It gets nice, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like the big thing for like, so for homeless people, like these people that we see on the street every day, they're there because they've been already kicked out of like every Salvation Army place. They've been kicked out of every halfway house. It's typically because
kicked out and banned.
Yeah, Salvation. Okay, so here's the thing: the safest place to walk by is the Salvation Army. You can see those guys, like they look gruff, they look worn down. They will never say a word to you. They will never do anything because they know the moment they do, their ass doesn't have a bed tonight.
Yeah,
and that's why like they stay as straight as possible because of that.
They don't ask you to talk. Don't talk to them. Don't.
Well, no, because like
don't do anything.
Because if someone
else you get put in timeout.
Like if there's a girl walking by and they're like, "Oh, nice ass," and then she reports them, they don't have a place because that's considered harassment, right?
See.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing. They just don't risk it. They keep to themselves. But like these are the people that have been kicked out of these programs, things like that.
Yeah.
Also, like I had to yell at a guy because he was literally like threatening these two kids in a pizza for change. Told him to get his fucking ass out of there.
I hate kids.
No, like these are like
it.
no, like they were just like sitting there waiting for like a pizza.
Kids can be dicks.
Oh no, they
That's all
can
I'm
be,
saying.
but they didn't do anything.
Okay, all right.
This guy was like he did like that, like looking down, like give me some money, and then I was just like, get the fuck out of here, because like the pizza guy was yelling at him, but the pizza guy can't do anything.
He's behind the counter.
Yeah.
He's making pizza.
Yeah, there's a lot, like even the smokes.
But I also haven't seen him anymore.
The smokes here is always interesting to me whenever I go into it. Yeah. There's so many different characters that pop in, and there's
Smokes
always
machinery?
Yeah.
Well, it's also because you're right across from a strip club.
That corner is so interesting. There's been one of my favorites was the guy that came in and he goes up to the counter.
Oh, with the angel.
What?
Oh no, that was a different guy.
That was another good one.
No, the two interesting guys that have come in there. One was a dude, looked normal, but but something was off where his hat still had a tag on it. Same with his shirt and same with his shoes. Okay. But they didn't look brand new, which was strange. And then he came in, and it was me and just him, and then the person behind the counter, and I already ordered my food, and then he went up and just asked for fries, and the person said, "Oh, it's this much," and he started looking in his pockets. But the person behind the counter was busy, so went back in the back, kept making my food, and then he came up to me and he was like, "Hey man, do you got any change? I just want to get fries." And I was like, "I don't carry change," which I don't. Yeah. Like it's very rare whenever I do. And he was like, "Oh," and then he walked back up to the counter, and then they have the tip like bucket there. He grabbed all of it and just walked out the door. and then I turned my back at that point, and then I heard that, and I turned around and he was gone, and I looked at the tip thing and I was like, he just literally took all their fucking tip money.
Oh,
and then I yelled in the back, I was like, "Hey dude, that guy that came and asked for fries literally just stole all your tips." And he was like, "Eh."
They know it's gonna happen.
Yeah. And then the other one was a guy that came in and he was he carrying it, or
no? It was this little like like probably the size of like a Monopoly character. Yeah. That's like the size,
or like a Kinder thing, like
a
Kinder Surprise. And it was of like a tiny angel, and he walked up to the counter and asked for food, and they asked like, okay.
Well, the guy was like, he's like, it's like $9.50.
Yeah.
And he's like,
and then he like put this on the counter.
Oh no, he did it like he's like. Yeah, and he does like this big like overarm wind up to fucking put it
puts
down.
this tiny little angel on the counter, and then the person just looks at him and goes, "It's gonna be $9.50."
Yeah. And he's like, "But it's an angel," and he's like, "Yeah, but like, $9.50."
Yeah.
Like, you could tell this guy was like, he was just he had his day.
Money.
Yeah.
Oh god.
He had his day. Like he was like, "I don't want to deal with this anymore."
And then he had it, and then he just like. As he spun around to leave the door, he like showed it to everybody, and then he walked out, and then everybody just looked at each other and went, "Okay." That was an interesting experience.
Honestly, these people, they're like, obviously, I don't know. In my experience, I've never really felt like threatened, just really weirded out.
Yeah, no, I've never been threatened.
It's just so
or anything.
awkward
it's
to deal with them.
It's either weird or just annoying sometimes, I will admit. The one that I always bring up is the Subway thing, which was we went to Subway one day just to grab lunch, and then we were coming back, and a dude was like, "Hey, you got any change?" And we're like, "No, sorry, don't carry change." And we had Subway bags because we grabbed subs, and then he was like, yeah, you had money to buy Subway. And then I just got enraged to the point where I was just like, fucking asshole, like, doesn't even understand there's debit cards and banks and shit now.
Probably doesn't understand that there are credit cards or banks.
Yeah. That was just like an internal, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, what was the most crazy I've seen is, and I still see her around. Like, that's the thing. Like, they become regulars, and it's this one girl. One, she's apparently always pregnant. At least for 9 months, she's always been pregnant. I can say that because I see her like.
Maybe she's just like really big in the middle.
No, she's homeless, so she's skinny.
Okay.
They generally, I won't lie, guys. They don't have a lot of money for food. Like, not to be rude or anything, but like the truth here. But she always walks around. Okay, sorry. She has multiple stories. She was like giving a guy like a hand job in a parking lot. He was obviously uncomfortable, but like he was like an older guy that was probably like single and probably hasn't gotten any for a long time. So he was like torn. He's like, I could, but he's like, I really don't want to.
Oh God.
So it gets weirder.
Yeah, and then like on another day, me and Allie were walking home, and she like runs up to this truck and starts banging on the window, like yelling for change. And then she just grabs the door handle because I guess he didn't have the door locked, and she just fucking climbs in.
I thought she like banged on the door, and the guy was like, no. So she went around to the passenger side, opened the door, and got in the car with him.
No, that's basically what she did. But she was at the passenger side. She just like and then opened the door and climbed in. He parks it, comes around, and just hauls her out of the fucking car.
Grabs her, rips her out of the car.
What the hell?
And like, what are you gonna do? You just gotta get her out of the car, get back in, drive the fuck away.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's an aggressive homeless person.
Yeah, she's the only one that's like, I see her a lot.
Doesn't take no for an answer.
No,
like,
apparently
she's the only
not.
one. Like I had headphones on.
Probably.
Yeah, I was like, I had headphones on. I was like, and then like she was like trying to cut into view. But I like the other thing too is when I stand at like a crosswalk, I stand at the very front of the crosswalk. So like there's no like, if you're walking in front of me, it means you're in the street.
Yeah,
which is dangerous.
Where is this all happening?
Out the corner.
How is your place not sketch?
No, this was at
How is
she hangs out in front of the
sketch?
Grand Hotel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was at Jarvis.
Oh, okay.
Jarvis and
Dundas.
So
right outside of like right outside the Hilton is where this happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like it's, as I said, like it's not. It's where these people go that sketch.
That's actually I love how like that corner has like the Hilton and then the Grand like literally not even a block away. It's just two really fancy hotels in this middle of this area.
Well, like the area, like it's the people, right? And that's always the key. Is like there's always like if you walk down the street and you don't come across anyone, you're like, oh, this isn't a bad place. If you walk down the street and you come across 8 homeless people because it's like a holiday in the morning.
I just see a ton of people that like walk by and they are carrying all their luggage to there, and I'm just walking by like, this is interesting.
Welcome to Toronto.
Just there's a lot of people that like will walk up to them.
Yeah, Toronto's kind of weird where it's just like you could walk through like an ultra expensive neighborhood, aka like south of us 1 block, and then like walk into our block, and then it becomes bad. Then you go north another block, and then it becomes really nice again.
Yeah.
And then you go like. Then you go north of that again, and then you get to another bad area, and then you go north one more time, and then you get into $4 million houses.
Yeah, Toronto's
this street, Sherbourne Street.
It's changing.
It hits so many things.
Yeah.
The city's trying to make it better, but you know, it's one
slowly
step at a time.
Well, they're basically just
kicking everybody
making
out.
ghettos.
Yeah. Honestly, your place isn't bad. I mean, like, how you guys been finding
the
living
apartment building is not bad.
Yeah,
like the building is nice. The area is
it's hit and miss.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like I can't say it's like sketch. Where my friends used to live in North York, at Shepherd and Jane, that was sketch.
Yeah,
they had multiple murders in the building, multiple murders down the street. Like there's just murders everywhere in this area. And then there's no like it's the other thing too is in North Toronto. Most of the areas are like these like small little shitty strip malls, and they're all terrible. And I'm like, why do these exist? But then
money.
Yeah, like people make money, but like you look at them and you're like, this is so run down. And then you realize that it's just like, yeah, someone is making their life there.
Also, how are they ever going to change?
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Well, So for those that don't know, like gentrification is where they come into an area, it's normally like a low income or like special housing area, and then the buildings, it gets normally run by a city. The buildings get bought by a private corporation because the city can no longer afford it, and they kick everyone out. And the case for us is like 3 blocks to the east. Like
there's a few places.
Well, that was the big one.
That was the big
Regent
one.
Park was like,
yeah,
I think almost 50,000 people.
Yeah. No,
Like,
there's a few places.
Yeah, they just come in, they buy all the places. They say
because what they do is they put up those signs about
development
proposals, and on the signs it says, if you want to fight this, go to this meeting at this time at this place. No one goes to it.
Oh no, like these people will go. It's that they have no power in the situation, because basically it comes down to like them saying like rent's gonna increase, and then the people won't agree to it.
Yeah, but most of the time what I've heard is that not a lot of people show up, and like,
oh yeah,
and they'll just like, and people will just go up to the signs and rip them apart, to spray paint them or fuck with them because they're angry about it. But then they don't the fucking follow what the sign says, and says, if you want to go against this, contact people and go to this meeting and fight for it.
Yeah. Again, it's difficult, especially for these people, but like the concept is because this was the crime rate spike in these areas.
Yeah.
And as we said, again, it's not just like being biased towards it, but like in the low income areas, this is what happens. The other problem, like in this case, is that this particular one was mostly for Somalian refugees. Problem is, you come from a violent country with a violent background. It's difficult to get work because most of you, as refugee status, for those that don't know, you don't need to know English to come in. You don't need to have certain qualifications to come in, like most people trying to immigrate to Canada that are not from a refugee country.
What?
I don't know. I guess Ford.
Company of refugees.
General Motors.
Yeah, GMC's going under, boys. It's a refugee situation.
Refugee status.
Yeah. So essentially, you come from another country with like, basically, it's where like the country has been ruled as like dangerous to live in, and beyond like reconcile. So they get like kind of like almost a free pass into the country. So, but the problem is with things like that, there's almost no income rather, because you don't have any background schooling, any baseline schooling. You don't know English, so you have to group with only your people. It's just small things like that where like it gets out of hand quickly. Disputes solve there end in gunfights. So disputes here end in gunfights, knife fights, because it's a lot harder to get guns in Canada. Apparently, like it was probably one of the worst crime rates in Toronto a few years back. Don't quote me on that. I could look it up, but I'd have to let one of you talk then.
Yeah, I'm not going to quote you.
Yeah, we'll quote me on that. So, but what companies do is they give you the spiel. They say, we'll pay 1 year's rent at another place if you find it within certain boundaries. Or we just wait for your lease to come up and we evict you anyways.
Yay.
And so it's not the fun end on that. But
so
like,
fun.
Now, but the thing is, it brings more tax money in because they have higher rent. You have to pay higher property taxes, more people to pay through. It's just small stuff like that. But what happens is you push everyone out of an area. And the problem is when you push places that had previously high crime rates all into one place that all now have a previously high crime rate. A stat you can quote me on, because I actually looked up the geography census for this. In Scarborough, where a lot of these people go and get moved to, it has 1 in 4 people cannot speak English or French. The average for Toronto is 1 in 200.
Damn.
Huh, that's interesting.
So it was just like really, like, it's just really bad for things like that because, like, as I said, you move everyone into one area, problems arise.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no. That got deep.
That got super deep and super political.
Yeah. Let's lighten the mood for a second. What's your favorite ice cream? It's okay.
Favorite ice cream?
I don't know.
I like dough. I don't know.
The look you just gave was like, isn't that everybody's favorite?
I kind of like Neapolitan. Call me weird.
No,
I
you're
don't say
saying-
that's
Crucify
weird.
me.
I
No,
don't say
you know
that's
what's the worst?
But I like
no.
Neapolitan.
Strawberry is not the worst.
Strawberry is the
Strawberry's
worst.
Not the worst.
It's not even flavored right.
If you mix it with the vanilla and the chocolate,
Strawberry's not weird.
it is
Still
sick
It's
in
not
your
my
mouth.
favorite, but I'm saying it's not weird.
No, I'm saying that strawberry is the worst.
It's not the worst.
It's the
There's
worst.
easily way worse.
I
out
mean,
there.
within the baseline flavors that you'd find in any place, strawberry is the fucking
well,
worst
if
flavor.
it's
Yeah,
just
it
chocolate,
wouldn't be my
vanilla, and
choice.
strawberry, of course. But like, there's other shit out there.
No, I mean, if you go to like a regular, like, if you go to a dairy with like 30 flavors, strawberry is the worst flavor there. I know you can't eat peanut butter. That's your problem. But like, it's still a better flavor.
Shake my head. I swear that mint.
No.
I'd put mint underneath strawberry.
No, because I don't find it overpowering enough.
Well,
the thing
if
with
it's
strawberry is
cookies-
it's such.
Cookies and mint, like Oreos
Oh, you
and
mean
mint.
mint chip?
Yeah, like mint chip. That's dope. I like that one.
See, like the thing, like
Butterscotch ripple, bitches.
no, it's just cookie dough.
No.
Actually, just cookie dough, not even ice cream.
Then you can go fuck yourself.
Have you ever like I go to whenever I was younger, I'd go to Dairy Queen. Sorry. There's we had multiple. We
I
had,
don't know what that pause there
That
was,
was just
Troy.
like-
was
I had
that?
to make sure it was the
That
right
was a
one.
flashback. That was a
Yeah,
flashback.
that's what I thought.
I
I
had
thought
Back
to,
to
like-
his good old
he-
days
he-
in Dairy Queen.
he was like Dairy Queen, and then all of a sudden he like left us for a second, like nostalgia.
No,
took
because
over.
like so we also in my hometown had a place called Queen's Dairy, because the last name of
Oh
the
my
place
God.
was called Queen. Like the last name of the company was Queen,
yeah,
and it's run by their family. And that's why I had to pause. I was like, did I say the right place? But okay, so when I go there, is I'd get a large Blizzard cookie dough, but I'd get triple extra stuff, or like double extra stuff technically. So triple stuff.
what is stuff?
Like that's the filling.
Oh, okay.
So I'd go in, and it was basically the cup was like cookie dough, because we know the girl that works there, so we didn't pay extra for it. And also, by the way, they only hire females at this one. I'll get into that after this.
Okay.
Okay.
It's another interesting story. So I just get this. It was basically like
My milkshake
it's
brings all the
mostly
boys to
cookie
the
dough.
dawn, they're like it's sorry. I'm sorry.
it just had like a coating of ice cream, so it's really good. Now, okay, so back to what I was saying. So the owner of the place
Now,
found.
is this Dairy Queen or Queen's Dairy?
No, this is Dairy Queen.
Okay.
In
all
my
right.
town, they only hire females at this one location because the owner hired beforehand guys, and what would happen was every fucking time a guy and a girl would fuck in the back,
Oh,
and they'd always get caught. And then she's just like, well, the easiest way to do this is get rid of the guys. Because this was a majority. So the thing was, she didn't fire the guys; they all quit, and then she just didn't hire them.
higher. Yeah.
But see, the thing is, like, it's not that she wouldn't if something arose. It's that she didn't want people having sex in the back room in the kitchen anymore.
Oh my god.
It's a valid reason.
Yeah. No.
But-
It's
Like, it wasn't just once; it was actually like twice in a row.
But how does she know it's the guys who are initiating? What if it's the girls?
no, is that there
She's
was
just
less
putting a stance.
No, there's
on
just
there.
less guys.
inequality.
they just didn't want any of it.
Yeah.
Might as well cut out one of them.
Like, I'm sure you could have lesbian action, but
Possibly.
that's a lot harder, I'd imagine. So that's okay.
Or just
No, I think
No
lesbian action is
sex.
stealthier.
it's stealthier. Yeah.
It's definitely stealthier. If
No,
you
but
think
you'd have,
about
like-
it.
Like, you'd most likely have to remove more clothes.
What? No, you don't.
No, for like a guy and a girl, like just pants down. For a guy, it's like unzip.
No, for a girl, you don't even need to like do all of that.
Well,
I
it
think
depends.
it's simpler.
Depends
I think
on what
it's-
level of lesbian sex.
I think it's the same. I think it's pants and underwear. That's 2 levels for each person, unless you're
Well-
going commando. Because that's all you need, really. Unless
No,
you
but
want to
see,
get
for-
intricate
for
and take
guys,
off a bra.
For guys, it's always easier though, because you just unzip and it just flops out. At least for me.
No, but the
That's what-
action is a lot more difficult.
That's what.
The action and putting yourself in that position, putting yourselves in like the bending person over and shit like
You
that.
can just say it.
You just say doggy.
Bend
Okay,
over.
yeah, the act of fucking takes a certain position, whereas if you're lesbians, you can pretty much do fucking any. I don't know.
You just finger each other.
Yeah, just finger each other.
Yeah, but you just do that as a
Boom.
guy.
Boom.
Yeah, but the guy's definitely gonna want more.
See, and that's why you can't have guys.
Just prove the point again.
Yeah, true. Whatever.
Well, shit. Okay.
Well, the only thing that happened in a Dairy Queen back in my hometown was that I got rats and I had to close down. You want to know what took it place? Okay, never mind. That's
Another
gonna sound.
Dairy Queen?
No. A Hong Kong buffet.
Oh, I got another good story. So in my hometown.
No, and it was a small town, and I love that Dill's here. It just it's like it was a small town, so that everybody started making those jokes where it's like, oh, they got infested by rats, and then it's a Hong Kong buffet. Don't eat the special.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Oh no, so we had
then that was it.
There's a Chinese restaurant called the Lucky Dragon, and this little shitty strip mall for like the longest time in Petawawa, and it got closed down.
I think the Chinese food place back in my hometown was something Dragon too.
Most of them are called something Dragon.
Yeah, can't confirm.
Yeah. So what happened though was the guy was driving. Like that has nothing to do with the actual place. He's just in jail. So he was just driving, and he had a fucking dead person in the passenger seat when the cop pulled him over for speeding. Apparently, it was some like person he knew that died due to like a drug overdose that he was trying to go bury the body somewhere. We're like, this is really fucking extreme. Like, not much interesting happens in my town, so...
You just had a dead person, like, sitting next to him.
Yeah.
Just like,
yeah, just like...
I was gonna go bury him, officer.
Yeah. Apparently, like, he, like, pulled him over and was like... He's like, so how's your passenger doing? He's like, all right, he's just sleeping. He's like... He wasn't in like it was kind of like a flopped position. It was not like a person that was like crossed armed and like laying back.
You could definitely
kind of,
tell.
Yeah,
arms locked, limbs really locked, like not loose or anything.
Yeah, breathing.
Rigor mortis kicking in.
Breathing.
So smell.
Yeah.
Gross.
So yeah, that was another interesting one.
That was a fun.
Oh, I got another interesting one.
All right,
I got a lot of interesting stories about.
I'm concerned about you now, Troy.
My town is full of weird people.
Yeah, compared to you, I think I've lived a completely sheltered life.
Yeah, you guys.
I just lived in a suburb, man, and like nothing too crazy happened. I mean,
I lived in a small town. It was just that we didn't have crazy people. We had people die to weird things.
You have crazy people just on like outskirts.
We had people die to like really weird events, but no one killed anyone.
Oh no, no one ever died. Like no one ever killed each other.
Okay.
Oh no, sorry, I got a story for that.
Oh god.
Right. Sure.
We tried to change the topic to ice cream, and now it just always goes back to
no, because what's funny
crime
is I'm about to go to another ice cream store. It's like a convenience store, but they also so here's the thing: if you grow up in a small town with a farming community, there's a lot of dairies.
Yeah.
So this was like a convenience store, but it also had its own private little dairy next to it. It was like a small thing. But so apparently, the girl and a guy are having like anal sex in the back room. Mm-hmm. But the owner,
that's oddly specific.
Is this at Dairy Queen or at Queen's Dairy?
No,
this is oddly specific.
This is at this
like,
rant.
It's anal sex?
No, because that's gonna lend to the story.
How do you know?
Okay.
And that's worse.
Chocolate ice cream.
Oh,
that's basically
chocolate popsicles.
That's where it's heading.
Anyway,
so apparently the parents come home because the parents of the girl own the place and she works there, and they come home and like apparently pulls out quick, and she shits all over.
Oh god!
As you guys said, chocolate ice cream was the joke for a while.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Dude.
In the back of the ice cream place. Hey,
I gotta water the
bedtime.
plants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
also okay. Now we're gonna loop around back to kill like murder.
Okay, sure.
This will be Troy story time.
This is.
Is this what you guys usually talk
about?
The
title of this is going to be called Ice Cream and Murder.
Murder for
chocolate ice cream.
Chocolate ice cream and murder.
So my dad worked like restoration. When he worked in my hometown, Paul Davis Systems. Mm-hmm. For those that don't know, restoration is when like your house floods or like a tree falls on your roof. It's to come in and fix those problems. He worked as an estimator, so he'd just come in. He'd like be like, okay, you need to rent these things. It's going to cost you this much for these guys to come in and fix all of this. So it was take your kid to work day. And so we went to, what was funny was one of the girls in my class, we went to their house because it was my principal's house, which I didn't realize because it was like, he's like, yeah, Adam. I was like, wait. And then we get there and it was my principal's place. And I was like, that's weird. And then the principal's nephew was a girl in my year, so I knew her. So we go there. It's like your typical stuff.
The nephew was a girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The niece, as some would call it. So we were like doing like the normal stuff, and he's like, and then we get a call, and he's like, okay, so this next one is gonna be like, it's like, you heard about like the triple murder house? And I was like, kind of vaguely. So there was like this theory that it was like a Hell's Angels hit or something like really extreme, because apparently like the Hell's Angels run our town, all this bullshit. No, they don't anymore. I say anymore because there was one strip club in the town, but the Hells Angels came in and shot it up, and that was the last strip club that was ever in my town.
Lovely.
It's another great story. That was before I was ever born, though.
Jesus Christ.
You guys just don't live. So we get to the...
Like, I have no stories to top that.
Yeah, we get to the house. Wait till this story. This one's bloody. So we get to this house, and my dad's like, you're going to need to put this mask on. It's like... This is like the first... Like, we went to a place that had a flood. It had a bunch of mold, and I didn't need to put a mask on. So I knew this was bad. There's a way worse story than this for smell, but...
Yeah.
Put the mask on. We go in, and I was like, there's police and, like, forensics teams from, like, Ottawa here. And I was like, whoa. He's like, yeah, this is, like, the murder house. And I was like, what? And so here's the story. People thought it was a Hell's Angels hit. No. That probably could have been a good story, though, for it. Because what happened was, apparently, they were all on a lot of, like, crack and meth and one other drug that they didn't really have a name for because it was just a combination of, like, random chemicals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
okay.
The fun stuff.
Yeah.
Your average Friday night.
Fun, crazy.
Yeah.
Woo.
Your normal drugs. Not Breaking Bad level. So what happened was they're all crazy high. So first it starts with a guy in a wheelchair getting his neck slit by the one guy. And then the girl walks in and she's like, what the fuck did you do? And then he was going on. And then apparently they had like the most movie-esque knife fight because one, you saw Scarface at the end of Scarface get shot like 100 times before he went down because of all the cocaine in his system. That's probably accurate with what these people did to each other. They knife fight for what they estimated for over 30 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
And, like, it was every room in the house. So, like, Mr. and Mrs. Smith level, where just everything in the house had blood on it, basically. There was drugs everywhere, just, like, in the walls. So they had to rip out all the walls for all these drugs. So it ends up that then they finish fighting. The girl's like, I'm just going to fall asleep on this bed, dies on the bed. And the guy goes to the bathroom to clean up. And then he's like, oh shit, the cops are going to come. So he tries to go out the window, of all things, and he bleeds out trying to get out the window.
So why was your dad there to rest? What was he doing?
The restoration was for all the walls to be redone, get the blood out of everything. Like, the house is still available to be sold. It's just, okay, so you had to get the blood out, you had to get the drugs out, you have to get everything. It has to be, like, ultra clean.
Yeah.
That's why they bring in restoration teams. So, but he has to estimate what they need to do.
Yeah.
I had the most interesting story. Take your kids to work.
Oh, Jesus.
I can only imagine you told it and everybody, including your teacher, was just wide-eyed like...
Yeah, my teacher's like, that's pretty extreme. But the thing was, everyone heard about it. So I was like, see? Not a Hell's Angels hit. Y'all need to stop worrying. Stay away from drugs. And now there's a big meth problem in the town.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Also, another job, I might as well finish off with this. So another job I had to do with them was, it was a guy that shot himself with a shotgun for suicide. But no one, because his wife left him, and no one found him for 3 weeks. Like the thing was...
no one just found him for 3 weeks, or...
No one found him for 3 weeks.
Okay.
Nobody checked up on him or anything like that?
Nothing.
Yeah, lovely.
They just thought he was like, just... you got divorced, so it's kind of turned inwards.
Yeah.
So, long story short, everybody vomited. Everybody. Everyone that had to go in there. Police, forensics. Because, again, we have to... They have to go in first. But, like, you could just see beside the door, like, there was just, like, a pool of vomit. Probably bigger than, like, the mess inside.
Oh, that's so gross. I'm sorry, everybody that's listening to this.
Yeah.
I saw some shit.
Yeah,
apparently
you did. And wow, okay.
That's pretty extreme.
Thanks for sharing,
anyone
Troy.
wants to one-up my stories, you gotta get creative.
Yeah, apparently so. Okay. Well, then, it's at the end of the podcast.
What's your favorite ice cream?
We want to know. Please post and
Drop
let
it
us
in
know.
the comments. If you guys listen.
Yeah.
If you guys only listen to 20 minutes of this podcast, you were like, man, that was a nice conversation.
You missed the majority of the good stuff.
Yeah. I'll let you guys talk more next time.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, I'll try. We'll have a nicer conversation than that.
I'll let you know if I'll be back, guys. I don't know if I can take another session, to be quite honest.
Thank you, Dill, for joining us. Now you've heard a lot of interesting stories, so that's
probably gonna cry myself to sleep.
Yeah, you're like, man, my life was boring.
We talked,
and I think I'm happy it was been that way, to be quite honest. Try to keep it that way.
Talked about ice cream, fucking,
please,
dead people, and gentrification. So thank you for listening. Deep political topics. All right. Well, thank you for listening to the Unknown Era podcast. I'm gonna have nightmares now. This is Marty signing off here with Troy and Dillon, and check us out next time.
See you guys.
See ya.
Peace.